So we got a new addition to the Kirby family. Let's pull him out. Haven't opened it yet. All squished. Look at him. Welcome back, friends. LostScarf here. It's time for the vlog, but first, let's free the beast. So look at him. Okay, let's see here. Talk about an unboxing, right? It's an unraveling. Okay, hold on. Ooh, there we go. There we go. And more than one? Yeah, there's more than one. Okay, where's the tape start? Oh, it's very sophisticated tape. There we go. Woo! Okay. Come loose. There we go. Okay. Coming out Kirby's mouth so we can suck. There we go. Jesus. Ah! This is... Oh my god, this is wrecking hell on sound right now. There we go. Look at his little mouth. Alright, so, okay, other one. So, in today's vlog, I shouldn't even talk about that right now. We're not going to hear it because of this. There we go. Oh, of course there's one more. Third time's a charm, right? Okay. There's another one. Okay, there we go. Ah, okay. Oh my god, there's another one. They needed 5 to contain Kirby. They could not contain. There we go. Look at Kirby. Like, I don't know about that, Chief. Spread them. Oh, it's a flying Kirby. Right. Oh my god, this Kirby's huge. Time to pull him out. Ah! Oh, Jesus Christ. This Kirby's huge. Blah. Shouldn't have breathed it in. Okay. Straight from Japan. Who knows how many rabies are on this thing? So I gotta wash them. Look how fluffy he is. Look how fluffy he is. He's so fluffy. He's so fluffy. Look at him. So fluffy. Oh shit, he's huge. He's freaking huge. Oh my god. Look how big this boy is. Look how big this boy is. I have a new pillow. It's a big pillow. Oh god. No, I want to have a dog someday. And I have to guard it. I have to guard all these Kirbys from that dog. Because, oh god, they're going to just, woo. They're not okay. It's not going to be okay. This thing is big. Look at this thing. Look how big it is. Wow. Also, man, I got good arms right here. That looks good. Okay. Oh my god. This is supposed to be flying Kirby, I think. Like he's flying. Okay, that's enough. Okay. Put him over here. You can see him right there. Oh my god. He's so big and fluffy. He's gonna fall over. Yup. Alright, yep. He's having a rest. He's having a sit. Okay, so the vlog. Today we're gonna talk about Magic the Gathering Arena, Resident Evil 2, and one more thing. Okay. Oh, hardcore. So, okay, so here's what's going on. As always, this Saturday Night Amiibo fight's gonna happen tonight. We're gonna keep doing it until everyone loses interest. Once nobody wants to watch it anymore, then we'll stop doing it. But I'm having too much fun doing it, so right now. Also, as a study of AI, it's really fun. Just seeing how these different Amiibos affect each other. How Ganondorf has essentially ruined multiple Amiibos at this point. He's ruined 3 Amiibos. Now, if you don't watch the Amiibo fights, so Amiibos, if you're not familiar at all, Smash allows you to use these little figures to be the characters in Smash Brothers. So Kirby, Yoshi, Jigglypuff. I have figures everywhere. Jigglypuff, Mario, Peach, Zelda. I have like 30 to 40 Amiibos, and I have them all fight, and they level up as they go. And Ganondorf, because he's such a hard hitter, is always a clear favorite from the beginning. And what's happened is Ganondorf has become so strong that he's actually made some of the Amiibos so passive and scared of fighting that they don't fight, all they do is dodge. Ganondorf did that. And this is all in a bubble. This is only through AI combat. I've not had bots fight them or anything. It's only been the AIs fighting, and that's what's happened. Everyone's learned to just be scared of Ganondorf. To the point that some of the Amiibos don't even attack at all, even in fights with anyone else. Like, they've gone full passive rabbit. So that was interesting. and we had to rehab them in different ways. I erased Zero Suit Samus. I just erased her memory so she can try again. Bowser, it happened to Bowser. We tried something different where we did a rehab instead, so I beat up Bowser with Bowser until he learned to start fighting back. That's what happened there. And then Isabelle was actually passive for a while, but she shook out of it from combat on her own, so she's not passive anymore. That was 3 different amiibos that were made passive. Funny thing is, though, this is history of the amiibo fights. Isabelle won the first major tournament we had. She defeated Ganondorf, but somehow later on she's just not. She's not been as strong ever since. Like, these amiibos we have, those who stick around for it, who've been around throughout the whole thing, there's like kind of like storylines for these amiibos that they've developed, these AIs. And it's very interesting just seeing them develop and what they've become. And Ganondorf just being the dominating monster against everyone else, because he's just such a strong base character. It's just interesting seeing all that. So yeah, still doing that tonight and next week, and then Super Bowl weekend I won't be here, so we won't be doing it that weekend. So this weekend, next weekend, but not the weekend after. That's Super Bowl weekend. Oh, Kirby's Dreamcast episode 11 has come out, and that of course is on the main channel. It's also on Podbean, and I really, really need to get my ass in gear on getting it everywhere else. So looking into how you get on Stitcher, how do you get on iTunes, all those things, got to figure that out already. We just make so much content, and then there's work and everything, that developing us to get those other positions, like better advertising spots, all that stuff, has just been on the wayside just because there's just so much more we do. And so I got to get that going at some point, whenever I got free time, which is not all the time, because there's just so much content we make, oh my god. But, eventually we'll get on other places. But it's a really good episode, honestly, and we got some really good gifs and clips from it. I'm happy with those things. And I can't wait for future gifs and clips that are coming up, because I watched up to episode 29 right now, and there's some good stuff coming up, and there's some really funny stuff, and wow, my hair just became a dent, and there's just some really good stuff coming up. There's some really good stuff in that show. I'm really happy with it, and it's a kid show, but it's a really good kid show. It's a very, very good anime. I cannot believe. Well, it got to 100 episodes after all, so I'm wondering when it either just got weaker or they just decided to stop doing it. I don't know, but 100's a pretty solid number after all. Pretty good, pretty good. So let's talk about Magic Gathering Arena. So last night we opened 108 packs. That was 864 cards. We opened that many cards last night, and that was fun, and we got all but like 20 cards from the entire set. That was pretty good. We got most of them, and looking at the different mechanics and everything, it looks like Azorius is control. Simic, I thought was control. Jinx tells me Simic is tempo. Rakdos, I'm looking at it as an aggro, but she says there's also control to it. Orzhov, I'm also looking at as an aggro, but there's also control to it. And Gruul is all about aggro. I cannot wait to build decks, and so the first episode's like the next week of Magic Gathering Arena. The daily videos that we do, if you didn't know, we do dailies on the side channel, Scarf Plays. It's just going to be building up at least 5 decks and variations on them, see what we can do with it. And then the week after will probably be even more of that, and then eventually it'll be improving old decks. So it's going to be a lot of constructed at first. And once best of 1 draft comes to Magic Gathering Arena, we'll start doing that. So we'll have a ton of gold to do a bunch of drafts on that. Eventually I'll do traditional and sealed, but I need to build up my gems from playing that one, because that's the only way to turn golden gems is round 1. Is single round draft. That's the only way to get gold to gems. We can also buy gems, but we just spent a lot of money getting gems for these packs, so maybe in a month or two, if I get to work some overtime, I'll get a $100 worth of gems, because that's the best value. And have that for doing just drafting. That could be a lot of fun. And finally do sealed and best of 3, which is traditional draft. So that could be fun as well. So if you're interested in Magic Gathering Arena and just seeing someone just try to make decks and everything, that'll be there on the side channel, Scarf Plays. Besides that, Resident Evil 2 comes out next week, so we'll just be burning through that game because Super Bowl weekend. I want to make sure I get the content out before then. Also because it's good to just get through a game like that very quickly. Just get through it, because it's a horror game and there's like puzzles and things to remember, because there's going to be a key that's here, that goes all the way over there. things like that. So you kind of want to play that in succession. So Resident Evil 2 on the 25th comes out that day. Expect streams on that day, and on Saturday, and on Sunday, Monday, all the way until we finish it, hopefully before Super Bowl weekend. I don't know how long it's going to be. I remember Resident Evil 2 being a longish game, so we'll see how far it goes. And assuming you get a choice, we'll do a vote on that night. Claire or Leon first, and then be the other one, for sure. That should be fun. I assume there's maybe going to be bonus stuff like Hunk and all that stuff, maybe. I swear, they better bring back the tofu. That'll be Resident Evil 2. Oh, Hardcore's coming back. Hardcore series is coming back. It's going to replace Apollo for a little bit just to rest my throat. And also because we just have a backlog of games that might be interesting to play. And we have a list of games, and I'll just name drop a couple, but we are gonna... I'll put this list on the Discord, and people can vote on what they want to see. So we have NES games we can play because of online Switch. So whatever games are on there, so we could do a hardcore Donkey Kong, of Super Mario Brothers, of Mario Brothers, which is a fun one I like to play back in the day, Legend of Zelda, things like that. SNES, we have, of course, the SNES Classic, so we can do things like Contra 3, Kirby's... I don't know how you could one-shot... how you could hardcore Kirby's Dream Course. Street Fighter 2, would you just play? The Star Fox games 1 and 2, Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3. Well, Mega Man X1 is on there. Super Metroid, Mario World, Super Punch-Out, stuff like that. Yoshi's Island. Things like that we can do. And of course, none surprisingly, we modded it, so we're also going to have things like the other Donkey Kong countries, Castlevania, Dracula X, Battletoads and Double Dragons, the Spider-Man games, so Spider-Man and Venom, those two games, Desert Strike, Urban Strike, and Jungle Strike, X-Men games, Turtles in Time, bunch of games, just a bunch of games. And of course, with mod, we can have a bunch of games on this thing. So, there's going to be a big list of games. We'll do a couple of them this run, and then we'll do Layton, and after Layton, we'll do more games, and then, we'll do that, and then eventually be the RPGs. So, I said Chrono Trigger is going to be the next RPG, so that's what we're going to do eventually. After Layton, we'll do that RPG. Oh, right. Okay, that was an alarm. Today, there's an AMA for Takori on the Kirby Reddit for him for 24 hours. The voice actor of Takori. So if you see this thing, you can ask him questions. He is the bird from Kirby Right Back At You. So that's happening today. That's what the alarm's about. I think that's everything. Last thing is Shadow of War. We were gifted that for Christmas a year ago. So I'm really bad for not playing that game. For multiple reasons. One is it was a Christmas present, so my bad. Two is it's Shadow of War. For the love of God, why have I not played it? And three is, well... So, Earth, Wind & Jim's on this list as well. So, when we get a lot of stuff covered, when we build our buffer back, because I got sick, so I got to build it up again. When we have a bunch of hardcores done, when we have a bunch of Resident Evil done, when we have Smash all the way up to March right now. When we have all that content done, and I get all the magics out of the way, and everything's out of the way, I'm gonna LP Shadow of War on the side channel. That'll go on the side channel. Alongside the Magic the Gathering stuff. As far as anyone who's a fan of Octopath Traveler, someday we'll finish that LP. Someday. That was a side channel LP. Eventually it might get finished. That game just drags on the end, and that's unfortunate. It's a really good game, but it's starting to drag, which is unfortunate as heck. Too bad. It's just too bad. I think that's everything with the channel. I don't really have a topic to talk about because right now, everything that's dominating right now is, of course, political stuff. And we're tired of me ranting about it, I'm sure. I could rant about the shutdown. I could rant about all the things Trump keeps doing. I could rant about Syria, about what he did with Pelosi's itinerary, about him trying the State of the Union, about the wall. There's so many things to argue and get annoyed about. And it's just, you've probably seen it all over the place already. I do a state job, so I'm okay. It's not a federal job, it's a state job, so I'm alright. If you're worried about it, cops are state jobs or city jobs, so they're not affected by the shutdown. The FBI is, they must be, they're probably essential though. The TSA is affected. The thing about this shutdown, of course, is just how it's affecting just the little guy, and how badly it is, and how much money we're losing as a nation right now in general, and just how badly things are going. And things you just didn't notice. And that's probably a thing to mention right now. The things you didn't realize that would be affected. The TSA is affected, which means we're losing security there. That's not good. The FDA right now is just going under, so there's not a lot of regulation happening to your fruits and vegetables and all that stuff right now. That is something to worry about. That is really something to worry about. As far as the water goes, you have to worry about that because there are federal regulations, but the states usually give themselves even higher regulations than federal. So most states you should be fine. A state like Michigan, because of Flint, is probably stronger now because of what happened there. But some of the Midwest states are probably not as stringent as, is that the right word? As not as heavily regulated as the federal regulations on them. So those you might need to worry about, but you have to check your own laws for that. But California, Texas, a lot of the more major urban states have higher regulations on themselves by state level than federal level. So you don't have to worry about those states. But more, yeah, Midwest ones that don't have as much reg, probably have to worry about that a little bit. Another one is, which I learned from watching one of the YouTubes, is there's like intellectual property people, and right now intellectual property is in trouble because there's not enough people just checking on that and regulating that and imports and things like that. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that one. Yeah, imports and exports, anything federal level there with regulations, that's not going well. So the country is getting worse for wear from the shutdown. Forget the political part of all this. Just because this is happening, we're putting ourselves in an even worse situation. I don't know who's imploding worse. Us or freaking the UK with Brexit. That's going bad over there as well. That's what was amazing 2 years ago. It's like Brexit happened, and it's like, wow, and then the US goes and votes Trump. So it's like, we're in a bad spot. We're in a really ridiculous spot. And I feel like the UK is just in, I don't know how that's going to go at all, or if they're going to do Brexit at all. And they're just, that's going to be a mess for who knows how many more years with that one. And for the US, we're getting more polarized for sure politically, and it's just going to get worse and worse. And I don't see us in a good spot. I really don't know what's going to happen. It's very worrying. The whole world is getting more worrying because you got all these issues, and you can put on top of that global warming. You can put on top of that just more wars and just more horrible, inhumane situations happening across the world, and just I don't know. On top of all that, we have millennials are not having enough children, and so people are getting mad about that. And it's like, what do you want? Who wants to have a kid in this world? It's a real argument, and I've seen this many times from conversations I've had. I've talked to multiple women because, of course, I talk to a lot of women, and a lot of them are like, they don't know if they want to have a kid in this environment, in this world. They don't know if they want to have a kid. I'm like, I get that. I get that because education has fallen to the wayside in America as well, and healthcare is not so great. We're in a bad spot. We're in a bad spot. And so I get why people don't want to have kids. I get that, and I want to have kids, but I'm also worried about them growing up in this world. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't like painting a grim picture, but when you do science, it's about observation and conclusion. That's what it's about. Well, and always being like you could be wrong by your conclusions. That's the thing to keep in mind. But it's just like there's so much negative, and the conclusion is, well, it's not a good time for a lot of things. So I don't know. The hope is the next generation do better, but at the same time, that is a stupid thing as well because you should not pawn things off the next generation. You should be figuring things out in your generation as well. And that's the thing that came up after Sandy Hook. Not Sandy Hook. After the one in Florida that made a bunch of those political kids. That one, like David Hogue and all that. There are a bunch of people saying the next generation is going to save us from all these things. Like, no, you're the parent. Like, we're the parents. We're the older generation. We should have made it that this never happened in the first place. We should have made it where kids don't have to worry about these shooting drills and things like that. When I was in high school, it was during 9/11, so we of course had terrorist drills, and thankfully we haven't dealt with terrorism all that much. But now we have shooting drills in this country for kids to deal with mass shootings, and that's a horrible thing. Because what was it before that? Was duck and cover? Well, like you had fire drills, and that was it. And depending on where you are, maybe you have earthquake drills. California has earthquake drills. Maybe you have a tornado drill. We have natural disaster drills. So by having shooting drills, like mass shooting drills, it's like being treated like a natural disaster, like it's meant to happen. And that's a failing on all of us as far as the older generation goes. That's a failing on all of us as older generation, and not stopping that. So it should not be relying on the next generation to do it, because that's just pawning off the responsibility. The older generation should be trying to fix this issue, and yet they don't want to. Some do, but some don't, and it's just unfortunate. It should not be relied on the next generation to fix things. Like, it's not like I get it if you're not able if you're just not able to do something like the whole older generation passing off the torch to younger generation because they're just not physically able to do something anymore, like in sports stuff like that. But we're talking about politics here. Every age can get involved in politics. Even kids and teens can, because eventually they'll vote. But every age can deal with politics. It's just that none of us want to because it's such a murky and annoying business, and it's just not so great. And I don't know. It's going to require a big wave of something to change things, and it should not just be at the younger level. It should be at the older level as well. At some point, something's supposed to give, and it's not. And ugh. So this was a different rant than the rants that it could have been. So at the end of the day, this is the other problem, and this is the problem we all face, and that is there's only so much we can care about. There's only so much we can put our energy and time into. There's just only so many things, and there's a bajillion causes out there. What are we supposed to do? And I'm of two minds on that. It's like, you should try to do what you can, but it's also like, if you do too much, you're going to burn out, and we got plenty of burnout culture already, so I don't know. And I hate painting such a negative picture, but it's what I see. At the end of the day, on the smallest level, you can believe in another human being, I feel. Like, people can rely on each other on the lowest level for sure. That's what gives me optimism. But the higher we go and the further apart we go, the harder it is for that to happen. It's very unfortunate because we have people who just something is alien to them so much that they're not even human anymore, and that is something very frustrating. It's a frustrating failing on humanity for sure. But that's enough of all that. That right there is the vlog. And hold on. Look at this guy! Look at him! Look at him! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, but that right there is the vlog. I have to. He's really big too. So when I put him in the washer, it's gotta be like a gentle spin and everything. And then when I put him in the dry, it's gotta be like a gentle. Like, I gotta be very careful with this Kirby. You gotta be extremely careful with this Kirby because I don't want to damage it, but it's so big and bulky that it could get damaged. Because I've one of these things in the background, they got caught in like the dryer thing, and so the heat started to melt the fur or whatever, and now it's like hard as a rock where you could get stabbed and cut by it. So I always have to be careful around that one, and it's weird. It's I didn't know you could do that. So you had to, ever since that one, I've always been very careful about them. So like, I wrapped a bunch of the plushes in a blanket and then just put them in the washer and then the dryer. But in the dryer, because it tumbles so much, the blanket just unravels and then they're just in the wind at that point. So there's a smart way to do it. I don't know. Such a I don't know. I'm such a dork having so many plushes and stuff. But we all have our weird hobbies, you know. Some of us have plushes. Some of us have guns. I don't know. Look, this will defend me in my house. They'll be like, "Oh shit, I don't want to deal with this guy. He's got plushes. That's weird." You know, you know. It's always about guns at the end of the day. At some point, isn't it? At some point, it pops out. See you next time. Did I do the whole outro? If I didn't do the whole outro, so that right there is the vlog. I had fun with watching. That's what's up, isn't it? Having fun, things come by. And Poyo, Poyo, Poyo. See you next time. Poyo, 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 Poyo. Poyo, 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 poyo.